Hello Stampers, how are you today? I am here with another Make It Monday video on my Facebook page. I'm going to show you how to make this adorable little card today. Very simple. We're going to use the Stamparatus, and I'm going to show you how to make your own template so that you can make this card. I'm using one of the new in colors, Fresh Freesia. I've also got Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. Just love that color combination. And that was where this card all started. I wanted to use those three colors together. I wanted to use the Stamparatus. I've been demonstrating the Stamparatus all a month long. And this is what I came up with. I hope you like it. My name is Linda Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Crafty Heron Designs. And I come here Mondays on Facebook to give you a video demonstrating different techniques with using Stampin' Up! Products. If you like what you see, I would love for you to like my videos or follow me on Facebook, or I upload my videos to YouTube after they're finished here, so you can follow me in any of those places. I'm also on Instagram, Crafty Heron Designs. And so let's get started. Love, love, love this card. So we're going to use the Color and Contour stamp set for this card. Isn't that pretty? This is new in the 21-22 Stampin' Up! Catalog. And it has some great sentiments, although I'm actually going to use a different sentiment for this particular card. But you can see that there are some beautiful sentiments. And don't you just love the fonts on these? Stampin' Up! Is really doing an outstanding job with the fonts these days. Just love them. So for today's card, what you will need is, as you can see, this is a 4.5 by 4.5 square card. It will fit in a standard envelope. As you can see, here we go. I like to make sure that no matter what size card I make, it fits into a standard envelope, and you can see how that would work, because that doesn't require any extra postage. So we will start with a card base, 4.5 by 8.5, and it is scored at 4.5. And the first layer is, this is Gorgeous Grape. Excuse me, this is Fresh Freesia. This is Gorgeous Grape. It's 4.125 by 4.125 square. And then the white layer that we're going to stamp on is 4 by 4. Nice, easy, square layers. So let's go ahead and fold our card base, and I'm going to set that aside so I don't get any ink on it. Same thing with the first layer, set it aside, and we're going to go ahead and stamp this. This is a quick and easy card. Primarily wanted to show you, sometimes you just need quick and easy cards, but also I wanted to show you how to use the Stamparatus. So we are going to make a template for the Stamparatus. Okay, I'm starting with for the wreath. It's a wreath template. So this is a 4 by 4 piece of paper. It's the same size as my cardstock, but this is copy paper, just so that I don't mess up my cardstock. I could just use that piece of cardstock, but again, I didn't want to take a chance on messing it up. And I am just lining it up. You can see I'm using the grid paper for the Stamparatus to line this up, and I'm going to use a pencil and a Sharpie, and you also need a ruler. A clear ruler is good. I happen to have this 6-inch clear ruler, which works. You can also use a T ruler if you don't want to do it on your Stamparatus. You could just do this on your work surface, but since I have this small ruler, I am just going to go ahead and I'm going to mark, excuse me. Yes, I'm going to mark on my grid paper. Had to think for a minute. I'm just marking the 4 corners. And of course, they're lined up with the grid paper, so it makes it really easy. But, if you don't have the grid paper and you just have regular copy paper, not a problem. Just line it up. Okay, so that one's pretty straightforward. Not a big deal. The nice thing about the grid paper is I'm going to turn this to get the next layer, and I'm going to use that grid paper to line it up. So As you can see, this is the grid paper here. I'll do this so that it's darker so that you can see better. And I'm just using my marker to make darker, thicker lines on my grid paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you're having a great day today. It is beautiful here in Georgia. Spring is in the air. It's May 24th today as I film. Okay, so you can see that this is the center, and I deliberately chose those corners so that I can use those grid lines to help me line this up. So I started with it this way. I'm going to just turn it, and I'm going to line up my corners, corner, right? So I'm just using those grid lines. Line that one up, so I got to lower it a little bit, and let's see here. Line that one up, and of course you move one and they all move a little bit, right? Nope, there we go, perfect. Put that in the middle. And now I'm gonna come in and, I'm gonna just go straight to the marker. There we go. And as I am marking it, I am double checking to make sure that my corners are still lined up with those grid lines. And then the last one here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So there you go. Now I have it. So if you want to make a smaller card, or the piece of your stamping is smaller, you just, make whatever size, you make your template whatever size that you're stamping. It could be larger, could be smaller. Just make that, and then very easy peasy, right? So now you've got your template. It's in the Stamparatus, and you're ready to start stamping. Okay, so here is the grid paper. I'm going to start. And it doesn't matter whether you start, where you start. It doesn't matter if you start on with it square or on the diagonal. I'm going to start on the square. So now the question is, how do you line up your stamp? So I'm going to show you. I basically, of course I lined it up already, but I'm just, oh, sorry, I hit the camera. So I'm just lining my stamp up. I practiced on my, copy paper first so that I knew that everything was going to line up for myself. But so I know that I want these, on the square, it's going to be off just a little bit because I want to leave myself some room in the middle to put my sentiment. So I put the stamp down, lift it up, and of course the photopolymer stamps always kind of stick to the Stamparatus. So, but of course the beauty is I can line it up again without a problem. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to stamp. My first stamp is going to be with Highland Heather. So let's see. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Okay. Make sure I'm all in the camera. There we go. So stamping, I like to put something underneath this plate. Just helps to get a good coverage of the stamp. That's the Highland Heather ink. You see I got a little there, but it won't matter because my Stamparatus is gonna be right there. Perfect. Okay, so that's the first one. Now all I'm gonna do is rotate my card, line it up again, re-ink, and stamp. Now, you can stamp like that, or you can use your fingers. Stamping using a block is great if you have any kind of arthritis in your fingers because it's a lot easier. It doesn't put a lot of stress on those joints. And, okay, you see where this is going, right? We're going to do 2 more of these. And of course, if it didn't cover fully, the beauty of the Stamparatus, right? I can just go over it a second time, or a third, or a fourth. But I did recently re-ink this, this pad so it's nice and juicy. And I'm sorry about the lights, my overhead lights in the Stamparatus. I haven't quite figured out how to prevent that from happening. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate and go on the diagonal, stamp on the diagonal. I leave my stamp where it is, but I am going to clean it off because I'm going to use a different color of ink. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape with this next stamp. I just love, have you seen the new in colors? Oh my goodness. Just love them, love them, love them. And I just thought it would be fun to see how all of our purples worked together. So that was, oh, look at, I got that. You know what, I did that with my, I think I got my chamois on there. Well, you know how that is. We'll just, you won't see it once I stamp around it. But, you know, boo-boos happen. It's handmade. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to put that one. Yes, so pretty. Okay, on the diagonal again. Re-ink. This one's really juicy. I just re-inked this one as well, so I don't want to press too hard. Yeah, it's fine. Rotate. Now I do, because this is a photopolymer stamp, I do have the felt pad underneath my Stamparatus, underneath my my paper, my grid paper. So don't forget to do that with the photopolymer. Okay, and last one, and there you can see my little boo-boo. But you will not even know it's there when I'm done. Ah, perfect. Okay, there we go. Yeah, maybe you can still see a little. It's okay. It's handmade, right? Okay, so now I'm going to use the filler. So this stamp set is two-step stamping. So, you know, you could certainly color it in, right? You could use your markers, you could use watercolor, but Stampin' Up! Has given us a stamp that just fills in the color. So what I'm going to do, I can just leave. If I wanted to do multiples, I would just take this plate off and leave that stamp on it, bring in another plate, or I could turn that plate upside down. I guess that would be the way to do it, right? Because then I could save that plate for something else. But regardless, okay. And so I have a couple of options. I could just put it on my block and line it up. But as we know, that can be a challenge if it doesn't line up, if it doesn't stamp well. So what I'm looking for to line these up is, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little, this one, it's almost like it's webbed. It's this one petal it's kind of a double with just a little bit of a wedge in there. Can you see that? As opposed to all the others that have lots of openings in them. So I just have found that that works best for me. And here is the corresponding petal. So find one that seems to line up for you. That one just works well for me. I'm laying it on my stamped image, just kind of playing with it a little bit. It's not supposed to line up perfectly. It's a watercolor image, so you'll see that it doesn't line up just right. But I am also kind of looking at the center and making sure that my center is pretty well covered. So, and actually, you know what? I want to start. I'm going to start on the diagonal. Start on the diagonal. And where did I go? Okay, there am I. You see that? And it's easier for you to see that way. That's the petal that I want to line up. And I'm looking at the center, and I'm looking at those petals. And once I get the first one done, the rest go easy. All right. Okay, there we go. Now I just bring my Stamparatus around. Line that back up. Do that. Okay, and now I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia. So I wanted the lighter, the ink to be on the darker with the Gorgeous Grape. That's why I put it on the diagonal. There you go. Same idea. Yes. Okay. And as you can see, it has just some, it's very much a watercolor kind of a wash. So I turn my card around, use my template as a guide, and ink up my stamp. Oh, yay! So pretty. Don't you love those colors? I just love the way they work together. This stamp set is amazing, and it comes with a set of dies, which we're not using today, but I'll tell you, I bought the stamp set for the dies because they're all kinds of dies that work borders and frames, and I've used those earlier this week, or earlier this month, excuse me, and some of the other cards that I did, I used the dies from this set. But I have fallen in love with the stamp set as well. It's so pretty. Love these flowers. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna leave it at that. My original card, I went over and did two-step stamping and filled in these, but you couldn't see it. You know, I stamped off, not two-step, I stamped off and then filled them in, but you really couldn't see it. So I decided that I just like it, just clean and simple like that. And for my sentiment, I'm using Just Because, and that is from the Lovely You stamp set. And, you know, I could certainly go ahead and line that up with the Stamparatus, but I found that it really was not difficult because it's a sentiment. So what I always do is I first test my sentiment on the grid paper. I make sure, is it gonna line up so that I know? So I kind of use the line to set it up and see, is it straight? Well, look what a mess. Oh, isn't that good that I tested it? This pad is now so juicy that I have to be really careful. Let's see, let's try that again. That's why it's always good to test your stamp. See, I can see that I've got a little bit on there. Let's test and see, am I gonna be able to do this without, yes. So the first time I really pressed hard. I don't know why, I just did. Probably because, you know, when you're using a photopolymer stamp, you tend to have to put more pressure. You kind of hold it, let it absorb into the paper, and then release. And then when you switch to using a cling stamp, you don't need to do that. Actually, now that I think about it, that's another issue because I've got the felt under here and I'm using the cling stamp. Not always a problem, but because this stamp pad is really juicy, see when I pressed in, I got that over spray, right? Overflow. So I look at it, I still see I've got a little bit there, but I think I'm gonna just, I think it was last week at the, what I did was I showed you can actually go in, if that becomes a problem, you can go in and just cut the red rubber on that stamp so that it doesn't happen. So I'm gonna be brave. Okay, stay with me. Now I gotta remember, right, I need just a nice gentle touch. I don't need to press too hard. I'm gonna just line it up in the center and yay, that worked fine. Okay, Just Because, isn't it pretty? I love that little sentiment. No, you don't need a reason to send a card to someone. Just because. There we go. So, what did I do with my, oh, there it is. We're gonna move that out of the way and let's assemble our card. So, I kept it clean and simple. You could have it open this way or this way. I think, well, let me think about it. I think the other one I opened up and down. So maybe this one, I'll open the other way. I'll have open the other way. It's always a mystery. If you get a card from me, you don't know which direction it's gonna open. I like to mix it up. All right, I like to use my liquid glue to attach my cardstock because it is forgiving. I really struggled with the tape runner, but I know some people love the tape runner. So whatever you are comfortable with, you do you. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna do that one this way. So just go ahead, center this. And these are only 1/8 of an inch offset. There we go, okay. And to give it a little extra something, I actually doubled, I just made a knot. This is the gray granite from the Baker's Twine set in the new catalog. It's really, really easy to work with. And I'm just using the bunny ear technique here. I doubled the twine. See how I did that? I just basically doubled it and kind of guessed it's probably about 8 inches. And use the bunny ears, twist it around, and come through. There we go. And now I just kind of make it fit whatever size. It wasn't that easy. I mean, I'm not doing anything special. This twine is just really easy to work with. There we go. That's a good size. And I'm gonna just get that out of the way. And then I will decide where I want to do that. I think I want to do it down here. Maybe up there. Use a glue dot because I find glue dots work best with any kind of ribbon or twine. And I place that on the glue dot, and then I am gonna kind of squish it a little bit so that it's small, so none of it sticks out from behind the knot of the baker's twine. And I'm gonna put that right there. And then I'll just come in and trim. I don't really want it to be, don't want it to stick out beyond my card so that it fits in the envelope. Although I suppose with this one, you know, you can fit it in on the angle, so it wouldn't matter. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And so easy. It is so easy to make your own template. You don't have to have something fancy. And then, like I said, this fits right in there, you know, either way. You could decorate your envelope, you can decorate the inside however you would like. I just want to show you this. I could not remember where I got this. I'm sorry, whoever created this. I'm sure it was a free download on their website, and they graciously didn't even put any, unfortunately, didn't even put any contact information on it. I looked back through, you know, my Pinterest saves and on my Facebook page. I don't know who did it, but if you want to get adventurous, now if somebody did this on the computer, that's beyond my technical skills. But what they did was, and the idea is you can make any size square. So whatever size card you're making, you just decide to make your square. And this person actually went ahead and did different colors. Isn't that fabulous? And so you could make one physically, right? Take different markers and color it, and then you know automatically what size you got. So thank you to whoever did that. I printed it off on cardstock and cut it to fit inside my Stamparatus so that I can use that. But I wanted to show you today, because I couldn't give credit to whomever did this. I wanted to show you how to make your own if you can't find one online as well. And there you go. I've also seen people make a template out of acetate. So you have the clear. My concern with that is that the acetate's slippery, and so I like to have my template as paper, because then my cardstock doesn't move so much. So there you go. There you have it today. I hope you've enjoyed our little Make It Monday. And we'll come back and visit me another day for some more tips and tricks with card making. And I hope you have a blessed day. May is here, and if you're watching this, you know, another time of year, I just hope you have a great week. Bye for now.